Tucker Carlson is left stunned as Tom Homan talks about some of the tragedy and horrors he has seen as a result of the United States border. This is a good clip, guys. I think you're going to like it. It is no secret that the United States border is out of control. There are so many issues that come with that, whether it's the crazy amounts of fentanyl that's coming over that is now the leading cause of death for young people in the United States, whether it's the kids who suffer that's being trafficked across the border, the American people who suffer as a result of the economic issues and crime that illegal immigration brings. It is a huge issue that needs to be solved, and God willing, the Trump administration is going to do something about it once it comes in starting this month in January. So we're gonna get right into it, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but first, do me a big favor here, like our video and share it around so we can keep bringing you guys this great hard-hitting content. As always, everybody, I'm your host Arian, and this is Resist the Mainstream.
Find these kids.
It's unbelievable. So last question, I'm just interested in why you're doing this. So you did it for 40 years. Yeah, 1984, 40 years. And then you go into the private sector and you're not retired, but you get to do kind of what you want to do and make a real wage after working for the government all these years. And this problem is just so enormous. And the bureaucracy is so complex and hard to fight. And they always win in the end. Why would you take this job?
Well, because I love my country, first of all. We made more progress on the southern border than ever before in the first Trump administration. I was ICE director. I'm taking an 82% pay cut.
Oh, I bet.
And I'm going back to a government paycheck. And thank God my wife supports me. She said if I don't take the job, she's going to divorce me. Because she don't want to see me waking up every day, mad at the world because I didn't come back.
So your wife's not a liberal?
No, she's not. I say this many times because of things I've seen in my career. I mean, I stood in the back of a tractor trailer. I grew up in a town of 2,500 people. Either you milk cows, or you're a logger, or you worked at Fort Drum. It's only three things you did where I grew up. So I grew up in a town of 2,500. I fast forward.
Okay, first of all, I love that Tom Homan has a based wife. As you heard, she is not a liberal. And this is more important, I think, than many might realize, all right? It is no secret that the dating market is terrible for young men in America. It is chock full of leftist secular women, and it's horrible. And I only say this because, guys, I've seen it firsthand. I've seen so many men settle for insane feminists, and they become into shells of the men they once were as a result, and it is really depressing and terrible to see. Men, do not sell yourself short, all right? It is better to be single and chasing your own purpose than to deal with any of these women. Believe me, if you do the right thing, eventually the right one will come along. I do believe that. And even if she doesn't, hey, at least you have your dignity saved. That's a bit of a rant there, but I do think that's important. That aside, I love that Tom Homan is from a small town. Why is this? Well, it is no secret that we have many coastal elites in the United States government, be them from New York, California, what have you, and they just seem to hate the common American and not even care about them or what their needs are. Somebody like Homan very likely understands the struggle of an average small-town American, given the story he just told. And believe me, coastal elites are terrible, all right? I, for one, to quote the famous Richard Nixon, who is arguably one of the best U.S. presidents we had in recent times, will never shake hands with somebody from San Francisco. And people always say, but Darian, you are from San Francisco. How could you say such a thing? And I say, exactly, all right? I know better than anybody else to never shake hands with those people.
I'm standing back with tractor trailer, 19 dead people at my feet that baked to death in back that tractor trailer, including a 5-year-old little boy who suffocated to death. And on top of him was his father who was trying to protect him. During that investigation, they said that little boy begged his father not to let him die because he wanted to see his mom again. Begged over and over again. Here's a 5-year-old little boy who knew he was dying and asked his dad for help. And his dad can't help him, right?
No.
I've talked to little girls as young as 9 that were raped multiple times by members of the cartel. Not once, numerous times. Grown men crawled upon this little girl, took everything innocent and pure from her. Her life would never be the same. Look in her eyes. There wasn't life in her eyes. It's just, this little girl's devastated for life. And this happens every day. When they unsecure the border, on purpose.
Goes without saying that's all horrific and deeply upsetting. And, Tom Homan mentioned about this heinous crime that happened to these girls. routinely across the border. Well, check this out. So this is for the state of California, all right? Penal code, whatever. I don't need to read the penal code here. If you're convicted of rape under CPC, 261A2, look at this. You face up to 8 years in a state prison. Did you guys hear that? Up to 8 years. Not 8 years guaranteed, which is already outrageously low, but up to 8 years. That's a maximum. Is it any wonder that these kinds of disgusting and heinous crimes happen so often? I mean, that's practically a slap on the wrist for what we're talking about here. That's insane. Just, but of course, only the blue state of California would you have a rule that outrageous. When we have basically no justice being handed out most of the time, is it really hard to figure out why? Just disgusting. Just disgusting.
And this happens every day. When they unsecure the border on purpose, I wrote an op-ed of Fox News, and I says, if Joe Biden wins the presidency, we lose the border. And when you lose the border, trafficking of sex trafficking will skyrocket. Child deaths will skyrocket, migrant deaths will skyrocket, American deaths will skyrocket from drugs coming across that border. I wake up every day pissed off for 4 years. So, and I've been on numerous networks complaining about it. So when President Trump calls me up, says, you've been complaining about for 4 years. You want to come fix it? How do you say no? Yeah. First of all, you don't say no to the President of the United States. And second of all, I won't say no to secure. I love this country. I want to save some lives. Secure borders save lives. So I'm going to come back and do what I can. I guarantee you what we're going to do is going to save migrant lives. It's going to save American lives. And it's going to protect our national security. That's why I'm coming back. Not for the pay. I can tell you that. I'm coming back because after 3.5 decades doing this job, do you understand it? Do you understand the tragedies that happen around it? The more secure that border is, the more lives we save. So I can rest. When I retire for the third time, I can say, I did my part to save some lives. And maybe less children are being exploited and women are being exploited by these cartels. And my number one goal is seeing these cartels wipe off the face of the earth. And I think President Trump's the guy to do it.
God bless him. I really hope he does achieve these things he's talking about, because it would be huge and it would be a great service to the American people. Wow, really heavy stuff there, honestly. Now, Homan did say that if Biden were to get into office, that we'd essentially have no border anymore, that it would cease to exist. Well, some people do, surprise, surprise, disagree with that, believe it or not. One of them being Joey B himself. Check this out.
Look, let's get something in mind about the border. When I became president, the numbers came way down, number one. Number two, we had a circumstance where I pushed very hard for a bipartisan agreement to put more people on the border, more Secret Service agents. And guess what? He's on the phone saying, don't do it. Don't do it. Make me look bad.
When he came in, the numbers went way down. Well, okay, that's just a blatant lie. Do I need to state the obvious in that about an estimated 10 million illegal aliens entered the United States under the watch of the most popular president in American history, Joe Biden? I mean, really? But, if Biden wanted to push a stat that was actually more flattering for himself, I did hear a propagandist the other day from, I think it was MSNBC, I don't know, one of the fake news leftist networks, who was saying that the Joe Biden administration had record high deportations. Ergo, the conclusion from that is that they are doing a great job on the border. It's a smashing success. All right, they're stopping illegal immigration like no other. They did it better than Trump. And the figure they cited was about 300,000 illegal immigrants were apparently deported under Biden, according to them. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. There's only one problem with the statement. For one, it does not take the fact into account that we just said that 10 million illegal aliens entered under Biden's watch. Well, what does that suggest? Well, for one, it indicates that perhaps a lot of bad people came in among those 10 million. As Trump said, some, I assume, are good people. Well, what about the other ones who aren't very good people? Probably quite a lot of them. And they were probably up to such funny business that they had to get deported. I mean, we have some examples. You have the Laken Riley, guy who brutally attacked her in the most despicable way possible and then ended her life. I don't know if that guy was deported or not, but he was just one example of many people who came in and committed the most disgusting of crimes under Biden's watch. So, is that really something to brag about? Record high deportations? Probably not when you're letting that many people in. I'm just saying. With all that being said, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you like this video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and God bless.